We are at halftime in the Cy-Hawk game, and the Hawkeyes on top of the Cyclones right now, 17-3, Ross Peterson, and the defense scores. We got this question. People want to know if a defensive score helps Brian Ferentz in his 25 points per game, and the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, big time, right? Big time. That's part of why this is such a dumb thing to have as a metric for an offensive coordinator is points per game, because he just benefited from something he had nothing to do with at all. But hey, that's beside the point. I mean, that's third or fourth or 19th on our list of stuff. Good first half for this Hawkeye team, Travis. Outside of a couple of drives that Iowa State was able to put together, really that sandwiched the first half. Really good performance out of the defense today. It
really is. What I was happy to see is Cade McNamara threw the INT, right? And then you were thinking, okay, there's that first turnover. Turnovers play such a huge part. Iowa turns around, makes that pick six, totally negated that mistake by McNamara.
That's that pick six is just huge in so many ways. It sets the tone. You know, Travis, it's going to be a repeat of last week rather. Hawkeyes have the lead going into halftime. We know what to expect here, right?
Which means they may not get to 25.
Right, right. That Ames might be getting cheap wings, is what you're saying.
Well, speaking of that, look at that. I've got I know. I've got a whole tin full of wings, and Jethro's has a great wing special going right now, hindering on the score of this game. Because if Iowa scores 25 points or more, the Iowa City Jethros is going to get 25-cent wings all week long. If the Cyclones can hold on and keep Iowa below 25 points, the Ames Jethros is going to get 25-cent wings all week long. Now, you and I powered through some ribs, and I mean, powered.
Every time you show those wings, I'm just like, oh, those ribs were so good. They were so good.
I don't know if anybody, if you haven't had Jethro's ribs, Ross and I both had a half a rack, and we were like cavemen going through those ribs.
Yeah, that second quarter was it was brutal for those ribs, that's for sure.
Yeah, we don't really remember watching the second quarter because we were like smothered in barbecue sauce. We just paid attention enough to go, oh, there's a pick six. Yeah, Hawks score again. Iowa State did have a nice drive that it ended up in a field goal towards the end of the second quarter. They have a little bit of momentum. Iowa's going to get the ball, though, to start the third quarter, which I think is good for Iowa in this position.
Yeah. Well, and this is always kind of Kirk Ferentz's MO, right? This is what he wants to do. Wants to have that ball to start the second half so he can kind of control this, that get the tempo going here in the second half. Don't expect a huge drive. Don't expect any productivity. Expect this to be a 3-4 minute drive that ends in a punt.
Well, I say go down, get one more score, go up 24-3, then they'll probably go into conservative mode. But if you can score in this first drive in the second half, that really sets the tone, I think, for the rest of the game.
No doubt. That would be huge. Yeah, Trev, I'm trying to pull up the box score right now just so we can kind of talk about some of these stats that are out there, because I was a little bit surprised, but I don't want to misquote anything. Do you have the box score up in front of you right now?
In front of me, it's about 10 feet away.
Okay, I've got it here in front of me. I'm just pulling it up right now. How many completions do you think Cade McNamara has in the first half?
6.
He has 5. He has 5 of 12. It's funny because if you would have asked me that, Travis, before I saw the box score, I would have said 10 to 12. It just seems like he's been a lot more productive than he actually has. 5 of 12 right now for 64 yards. Rocco Beck has 12 completions in his 24 attempts. And the Hawkeyes have been able to do it on the ground. They've got 80 rushing yards, most of those on that 59 yards by Jazz Patterson. But 12 carries for 80 yards. They're going to get over 100 yards here for this game. And it usually does play out that the team that wins the running game in this battle is the team that wins the game.
We got some Iowa State fans on here, and I want to show you this. Chad says, I like Rocco Beck. Lots of drops from wide receivers, but this kid is young. 4 years of Beck is killer for the Clones. Now, John turns around and says, Brecht is an embarrassment. I told the old lady who's an Iowa fan, yuck, he's going to throw interceptions today. He looks right at every throw. As a Cyclone fan, it hurts to never have a quarterback.
Wow. So back and forth there. That seems like two Cyclone fans. One of them saying,
Yeah.
I really like this kid. I like the next 4 years. And the other one saying, I hate him today, and I'm already calling for the pick sixes. Travis, I mean, I'm not an Iowa State fan. Neither are you. Kid seems like he was thrown into a really tough situation.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 weeks ago, he didn't know he was going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Matt Campbell was not planning this roster around having Rocco Becht as the starting quarterback of this team. So he's in a really tough position, and I think he's done really well when you start your conversation from that perspective.
When you consider the circumstances, right?
Right. Now, statistics-wise, the second caller is right. Second caller that says, this kid doesn't have it. He looks bad. He threw a pick six today. He's only 50% completion percentage. Hawkeye fans are elated right now with a kid that's 5 of 12.
Yeah. Think about that. You're right. Elated, like he's the next coming. Right? So, and by the way, Chad, who had that first one, says he's a Hawk fan. He just said he really liked the way
Okay.
So we got the third quarter coming up. Iowa on top of Iowa State 17-3. Will it be a low-scoring second quarter, or will we see 17 more points out of Iowa? And can Iowa State punch one in the end zone? We'll find out coming up in the third and fourth quarter. For Ross Peterson, I'm Travis Justice. We will see you after the third quarter. And go eat some Jethros. Eat some Jethros.